Okay, so before I turn you loose on this, I'm going to show you what to do so that it makes a little bit of sense to you before you start. Let me see if I can, there we go. I'm going to show you with parabolas. We are not doing parabolas. We are doing the trig function. Sean, come turn that in. But I'm going to show you with this so that I'm not actually doing it for you. So it's called a marble slide. So here's what you're going to do. On the first slide, it kind of explains, and it does kind of walk you through and explains to you what to do. However, I wanted to make sure it made sense to everybody before you got started. So there's this little marble right here. There's actually a whole bunch of them stacked there that are going to fall once you hit launch. It's going to bounce off of this stuff and hopefully collect all the stars. It's kind of like a video game, right? So this one's already done for you. It'll work right. We hit launch, okay? And you collect all the stars, success, woohoo, and we move on, okay? Now, here's what I want to make sure that you understand is that I can see everything that you're doing, okay? I can see every slide that you did, every comment that you make when it asks you to do stuff, every marble slide that you created, so you can't skip stuff, all right? So the next one looks like this. So it says, change the sign of one number in the row below to fix the marble slide. Well, and it may not be this, at the beginning it's kind of specific to kind of get you an idea, but even if it didn't say that, if you look at what we have over here, because this is a parabola, and clearly if I hit launch, it's going to be a fail, right? Because they just get collected there. I got 1 star, I didn't get all of them, so I'm going to have to do it again. So what could I do to this parabola to hopefully catch all the stars? Okay, well, even if I lower it and I launch it, is it going to hit those stars? It could reflect it. And you know what? If you're not sure, look at what happens here. So if I'm going to click on this, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lower it first. We'll make that -8 and see what happens. Put that down. So this is what happened when I lowered it. So now when I hit launch, I still just hit that 1 star and it's just going straight down, right? So I didn't really want to do that. So I'm going to change that back to plus. You can use the keyboard on your tablet too. You don't have to use this keyboard, but sometimes it's easier. It just depends. Up here, I don't have a keyboard, so. But we could reflect it. If I wanted to reflect it, what would I do? -0.1. So I'm going to put a negative sign here. And then when I do that, now the function doesn't intersect all the stars, but that's okay. It doesn't have to intersect the stars. The marbles just have to hit the stars when you drop them. So then I hit launch. And boom, I got them all right? So sometimes you're going to have to change one thing, sometimes you're going to have to change multiple things, but I would suggest to you that you only change one thing at a time. If you go in there and you change 3 things, you're not going to know which one you shouldn't have done, that sort of thing. So these are going to be trig functions that you have to do, so you're going to be changing amplitude and period and the vertical and horizontal shifts so that you can try and collect all of these stars in there. Does that make sense? And then, so when I give you the code, once you go to the website and you have the code, you're going to have an option to sign in with Google, sign in, which I doubt any of you have an account, but if you do, you can sign in, or create an account. So last period I said, you don't have to create an account, but maybe you want to. I'm going to tell you, you really need to, because here's what happens. If you don't finish this, you're going to have to finish it. And you didn't create an account, you're going to have to start all the way over at the beginning, and you do not want to have to do that. So sign in with Google or create an account so that when you go back, you can just sign back in and it's going to start you right there. Does that make sense? Or if your tablet shuts off in the middle or whatever. So go ahead and create an account because this will be helpful. This is Desmos. We have, Desmos is very, very helpful if you need an online calculator. You can actually use it on the STAR test now, so which is insane to me, but it is true and it is legal, so just keep that in mind. So do you kind of get the idea of what to do? Okay, yes? Keeping in mind, I can see what you're doing. I want to see what you're doing, and when you answer the questions, it'll ask you to predict. Sometimes the screens have success there. Sometimes it's a predict, and you type something in, and then the next one is verify, and you may not see success every time, but I will tell you as you're going through if like something's missing or you have an X. Like if you don't get a success, you don't get to move on because it'll show me an X, not a check. And yes, you have to finish the whole thing. You got a 4-day weekend. You got until Wednesday to finish this, okay? It's going to be fun, right? Tons of fun with this. All right, so here is, I'm going to give you the code. If you're watching the video, the code is in Schoology.